Hi everyone, and welcome back to the True Reds. It's me, Keegan, joined by my co-presenter Varun.
Oh yeah, I just waved, but yeah, hey guys, what's up?
Yeah, we're back again for another video. Our thing right now is awkward intros. We always have an awkward intro. We're back again for another video. It's been a while. We just had to sort some stuff out, and we're back. And we're gonna be discussing the amazing, huge 4-0 win against Everton, and also previewing the Southampton game coming up this weekend in this video. So we got a lot to talk to. We have a lot to talk about. Are you ready, Varun?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so the first thing that we're going to talk about is the match review and just a pretty simple review of the Everton match. So I'm going to kick it off first by saying we did not play. The scoreline flattered us basically. We didn't play like a 4-0. In my opinion, the way we played, we deserved 2-0. We deserved to finish it off in the first half 2-0 and then just kind of play more defensively in the second half. But 4-0, the scoreline definitely flattered us. Talking about flat, we were quite flat in the game. I know that's quite cringy, but we were quite flat in the game. We didn't really. I think we obviously missed Pogba, and we'll get onto that later. But we were quite flat without him. There were a lot of sideways passes, a lot of going back, and that's yes because Everton are playing five at the back, but yeah, we were just really flat. But shout out to Antonio Valencia, what a goal! Live it looked like it went top corner, but it was more middle-ish, but still, it was an amazing volley and
Kind of right above Pickford, but yeah, it's still a good goal.
yeah, amazing goal. Your review, Varun, like I kept it quite short, but I know you have a lot to say.
I don't really have that much. Moreno he thought our first 30 to 35 minutes were the best of the game. I thought our last 10 were the best, obviously. Yeah, I don't think we played that well. I think, especially start of second half, we just we went from like 0 to 100 back to 0. I thought we were really poor. It took us a while to get back in the game. I thought we had quite a few chances where Mata and Mkhitaryan, they kind of both skewed big chances. You could see with one-on-ones. Mkhitaryan, I'd say, kind of lost the ball quite a few times and was culpable for quite a lot of mistakes. But as usual, he always gets his goal/assist of the game, which was good and helpful. But I think we have to be more clinical because it was getting very reminiscent of last year when we'd go into those games and end up drawing. But I think I agree with Keegan, and this is something we will talk about later, but it is a Pogba absence. I think you could really tell the midfield just wasn't operating as creative. You weren't seeing any darting runs into the box from like a midfielder, except Fellaini, but Fellaini's not really like a midfielder. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. But yeah, I'd say the scoreline flattered to deceive. So people, I think, who watched the game could understand that it was quite a close game until the 80th minute. But anyone who just sees the score would think that we dominated, which I don't really think we did. Yeah, so now we're going to talk about the tactics and obviously, as we mentioned before, the absence of Pogba, who can come in to fill his void for the next 2-3 weeks, months. Mourinho doesn't even know for how long he's out for as of now. From when we're recording
hamstrings only take like a month though, so hopefully it's
the hamstrings are normally the longer injuries, so it's probably going to be a while before we know for sure. But so I'll just talk about tactics. I thought that bringing Fellaini in like for Pogba was okay. He played quite well. It was the first game I didn't really notice him at all throughout the first half. And normally, whenever he plays, you can see he has an influence on the game. However, I think he played a good game. I couldn't really identify many issues or mistakes with him, but I thought it was really interesting. And I can't tell if this was maybe just because of the timing for when he came on. But when Herrera came on, he bossed the midfield, and you could really tell that once he came on, we were much better in possession and in controlling the game. And so I'd probably say I'd bring Herrera in for next game, not the Bradford game, the Southampton game. I'd bring him in to start, especially because it's away. So I see Moreno maybe going to a 4-3-3, kind of like the Stoke game. However, he might just be a bit reluctant because of how poorly we played at Stoke and how we didn't win that game. So I say maybe change up the system and go to a 4-3-3 with Herrera, Fellaini, and Matich, and then Mkhitaryan, Martial or Rashford, and Lukaku. So that's pretty much the same team. Keegan, and your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree what you said about Fellaini in the first half, but I'm always like pleading and pleading for Herrera to play. I love Herrera as a player. I think he deserved Player of the Year last year, and I love that that bite he has. But I think Mourinho got it wrong. I know Fellaini was carrying a knock for the Stoke game, but Fellaini would have been better in the Stoke game, and Herrera would have been better in the Everton game. I think the physicality of um, Fellaini against the Stoke midfielders, even though Stoke are transitioning away from that kind of like physical hard man play, it's sort of been helpful against their midfielders. While I think Herrera's more technical attributes would have suited the Everton game more, especially because Herrera is the type of guy to play those little 1-2s with Mata, and for Mata to get inside the box and for Herrera to find him, and I think that would have made us a bit less flat. In saying that, Fellaini did his job. He didn't need to stand out, and he did end up getting the interception, which led to Mkhitaryan's goal. So that was good on his part. And Matich bossed the midfield, and I think that's been evident throughout the whole season. He is probably going to be signing of the season for the whole Premier League. I'm saying that right now. He is absolutely incredible.
I did call it in our preview for the season,
Yeah.
but you know what? You can take credit if you want. Go on, yeah.
Yeah, and like talking about Pogba, as much as we are missing his creativeness, I think Matich kind of played that creative role against Everton, and he didn't do a bad job. I mean, I think he was okay. I don't know if you agree, Varun, but I think he was like.
He was voted man of the match for the game.
Yeah, but in terms of a creative sense, not in terms of like.
He kind of his only true like contribution in terms of like attacking, I'd say, is probably his shot at like the 70th minute.
Yeah.
I don't think. I think we kind of. I think because it was a similar system to the other games we played at home, you didn't really see as much as we would have seen out of Pogba from like a Matich kind of player. Because I think him and Fellaini kind of played both defensive roles. Of course, Fellaini would come drift into the box, but you wouldn't see much. You'd be more about the front four, which is like the three attacking midfielders and the striker. I don't think Matich really did anything like spectacular in terms of attacking, and so. But I think it's okay, and I think after seeing what Herrera could do, I think Moreno's probably going to start Herrera and Fellaini, I think, and Matich for the Southampton game. But, you know, we'll just see. Anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, just in relation to the formation for the Southampton game, I think it will probably remain unchanged except for a Martial and Rashford switch. I think we're seeing that like those two are really the only two that are being rotated. I like Mkhitaryan in a number 10 over Mata. Mata and Mkhitaryan switch most of the time anyway throughout the game, but Mkhitaryan's pretty inconsistent, but at 10 I think he's a bit more creative than Mata. And I don't know, he's just a taller presence in the middle of the field, which I know Mourinho likes. And I'm starting Fellaini against Southampton just because Lamina and Stephen Davis are quite physical players, and I think Fellaini will do better. Also, before we move on, quick shout out to Ashley Young because he bossed it in the Champions League game against Basel, and he played really, really well against Everton. And I really wanted him to go during the window, I'll be honest, but he is really meriting a spot. I think he should start over Luke Shaw the way he's playing right now. He's playing really well. So
meriting might not be the best word, but I think earning is a better word. But
yes.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, he's earning his spot. I think he's playing really well.
Yeah, do you want to talk about your key performers so far of the season and maybe of the game? I'd say, personally for me, I'd say that the best player on the pitch was probably, I'd say, just like everyone else, Matich, because I don't think we played that well.
Yeah.
I thought Bai actually had quite a poor game. I thought Rooney really got the better of him on multiple occasions, especially in the second half. And as usual, I think our best player actually, and now that I think about it, probably Dave.
Yeah.
Big Dave in net, because he had to save two really, really good chances. And if you calculate the entire game, there's actually 3 chances, even though Tom Davis' header was offside. So, again, it was kind of, going back to it, I think we flattered to deceive. And I don't think anyone from the team really impressed over the weekend, except for De Gea, who made like 2 amazing saves, which kind of kept the score 1-0 and really allowed us to go into the last 10 minutes of the game quite relaxed. Yeah, Keegan?
Yeah, quite similar. My three are Matich, De Gea, and Ashley Young. I think Ashley Young really deserves credit. He's played amazing. Also, Mickey to an extent. I know he's losing the ball a lot, but that's what you can expect from him. I mean, he wants to drive forward. At least he's making that attempt to drive forward. And yeah, those three, and a notable mention of Mkhitaryan around there.
Okay, so now we're going to get on to our predictions / preview of the Southampton game.
Yeah.
So we kind of mentioned it before. I think we're going to go a different formation. I think Keegan said he thinks we're going the same formation. Keegan?
Yeah, I think we're playing the same, like 4-3-2-1. Same back four. Even though I think if Luke Shaw plays a full 90 minutes against Burton midweek, he might start, but I think Ashley Young deserves to start. No, sorry. The only change I'd make actually is Martial in for Rashford. I think that's just going to be a change that we're going to see all season. But yeah, if Luke Shaw plays full 90 minutes against Burton, then I think he may start over Ashley Young.
Yeah, the reason I say it's going to be different because I think, of course, this season they haven't lit up the league as they normally do. Every year we see Southampton doing better and better, but it seems like they're maybe on a little decline as of now. But with like Van Dijk back, I kind of see us going a bit more defensive, which is similar to the Stoke game, playing the 4-3-3. However, I don't see us losing as we did in the Stoke game. Not losing, it felt like a loss, but drawing.
Lost, yeah.
I think we'll win, and I think we'll play a different formation. Actually, can't believe I'm changing my mind. I think we might go with the same formation. I just realized Pogba's not playing, and I don't think Moreno prioritizes Herrera or Fellaini as much as he does Pogba, just because Pogba's like the heartbeat of our team. So I think, yeah, we'll go the same formation. I'd say probably the same team. I think I'd play Lingard ahead of Mata over the weekend, even though Lingard kind of messed up and like missed a few chances over the weekend against Everton. I still think what he did was more impressive than what Mata did, because Mata, other than his free kick, he kind of dilly-dallied for that chance as well, because it was kind of an open goal. And you don't really see him doing much recently. Like, he hasn't done much in the last 2 or 3 games. So I'd bring in Lingard to start on the right. Yeah, Keegan?
That's a bold shout. Bold shout starting Lingard. I don't know if I would start him. Why not just play Rashford on the right and Martial on the left? I know we don't really see it, but last season...
I'm going to be realistic here. I think it's pretty clear that Moreno's not never, but I don't think he's going to do that.
No, but last year he played Rashford on the right and Martial on the left sometimes. So he has done it before.
No, but this year, like, you can see, like, he has role players.
Yeah. The
only reason he brought Lingard on, I think, was for the energy and, like, the defensive prowess he has in comparison to Martial. Like, I think he was kind of worried because Young started getting found out near the end of the game a bit because they were constantly piling on the pressure. So I think he was brought up for more defensive like aid. And so I think playing him at right back or right wing with Valencia kind of would be important because he'll be going around, and he actually does quite well away games. You talk about Middlesbrough last year, West Brom last year. So I think I'd start him over Mata for this game.
Just one more thing I want to bring up is Victor Lindelof against Basel. I thought he played really well. I don't know if you're in disagreement, but when do you think you like break into the first team in terms of Premier League? Because I don't think Phil Jones played that well against Everton. I think he was very, very good like the first 2 games of the season, but recently he started to die off a bit, and I think Lindelof or Smalling need to come back, or Rojo, if Rojo's fully fit anytime soon. He needs to be replaced.
For at least like a month, I think Moreno said.
Still a month?
Okay. Sorry, were you saying something?
No, just like still a month. I was surprised it's that long because I know he came back to training, Rojo. So.
Yeah, but he's like training by himself, I hear. For now. I think our defense has been playing quite poor. Like the Stoke game, conceding 2 goals. I know they're like crosses / corners, but I wasn't really impressed by our defense. I think Bailly also hasn't played that well recently. I think it's just about maybe calming down. Uh, and I don't see Southampton. Hopefully, actually no, Southampton probably will attack more than Stoke did because they're quite an expansive team. But I'd say in terms of Lindelof, I don't think he's going to get into the defense until it's either an injury or he's literally like playing like crazy, and the other two aren't playing as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. I also think the kind of regression of Smalling since Van
crazy.
Gaal to Mourinho. But I still think for Mourinho, as of now, Smalling's probably his third choice center back for the Premier League, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, I know Lindelof did poorly, but he's playing like Real Madrid and he's playing friendly matches against other teams. I don't think those were like really good like tests. But yeah, I don't see him coming in for a while. How about you?
Well, I don't see him coming in for a while. I just think he should. But it's Mourinho, and Mourinho knows best. Before we end the video, just three. I want like three threats, Varun, of Southampton, either player wise or anything about their game that you know that United should look out for.
With Pogba out of the midfield and not playing, I know we'll have Fellaini and he might be starting, but I think set pieces we have to be careful. Like we conceded from two corners, not two corners, one corner, two crosses against Stoke, and like set pieces are going to be a big deal because teams that we generally dominate away from home, they get a lot of set piece opportunities because either they're just taking long shots or like Dave makes a ton of saves. But I say set pieces, then I'd say Gabbiadini, we saw him against in the Capital One Cup final. He was amazing, and so he could come in, have a great game. He's not doing that well this season so far, but you know, and it seems like everyone turns it on when it comes to United in terms of performances. Kind of unfair, but that just seems to be the case, and so he could do really well. And like their defense as well, it's gonna be tough. You're gonna have like Bertrand, either Jake Stevens or like Yoshida or someone. And Van Dijk, I think, would come back straight away, even though he came off the bench. Their defense is really strong, and Forster is quite a good goalkeeper. So I'd say it's going to be a big problem it's going to be a big issue to see if we can score, and I hope we do.
Okay, yeah, interesting. I was gonna say set pieces as well, especially James Ward-Prowse. He's a very good.
Yeah,
set
it's a
piece
great
taker.
pass.
As well as defense, I'm pretty sure they're playing the typical 3/5 at the back this season, so they will be difficult to break down. And also Mario Lemina signing from Juventus. I've watched a couple like minutes here and there of Southampton games, and yeah, just watching highlights. He seems to be quite an influence and the like impetus in their team. He's kind of like the Pogba of Southampton. So I think we have to look out on him, and I think we should go man to man in terms of the midfield. So I think we should match up in the midfield. So if they play Lemina and Ward-Prowse, we also play two. If they play three with Stephen Davies, we play three. So I think if we do that, then we should catch them out. If not, we could be in some trouble, and Southampton could show up. But so far, they've been pretty flat and pretty bland. So I don't expect much, but hopefully we win. And my score prediction, I think we're going to win 2-0, but anything can happen. Do you have
Normally, when we go to Southampton, it's either like a blowout or a really close game. I'd probably say 3-1. I think.
You think
I
we'll
hope
concede?
You think I hope it's 3-0, but I think it's gonna be 3-1.
I don't think we'll concede though. They've been quite poor in front of goal, but
yeah, but they're gonna have a lot of chances, like I said, and they're a team that does like know how to attack and like really pile on the pressure, especially with their home fans. Pretty good home fans, I'd say.
Yeah.
And so I can see them getting like spurred on for the occasion and scoring maybe one goal. Hopefully just one goal.
Yeah. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. This was our review of the Everton game and preview of the Southampton game. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. We will be doing these videos weekly, and we will be remaining more consistent throughout the rest of the season. We just needed to sort some stuff out up to here. But now that it's been sorted, we will be remaining consistent. And for Champions League game week, we may upload 2 videos a week, but for now it's probably going to remain 1 per week. Varun, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, subscribe to the True Reds. Hope you enjoyed. Comment below. You might not, but yeah, it's personal preference. Yeah, just hope you enjoyed and subscribe, comment, and like.
Thank you. Bye.